Hello, and welcome to the Neurospiritual Awakening podcast. And I'm your host, Dr. Val. And today, this is the very first episode, an in-person episode with my dear friend, Lara. Lara, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I feel so honored to be your first in-person one. I was wondering if it was. I was trying to also figure out how many years has it been now that we've known each other?
Since 2008.
Yeah.
So yeah, 18 years of friendship. Everybody on camera now. So there you go.
I know. But we must have been babies when we met.
Exactly. Exactly. I like the way you're thinking. And we've both covered some awakening processes throughout the 18 years that we've known each other. So I'm here to interview you on at least one or two of your processes. Again, we're going to be looking at you and we're going to be looking at each other. So y'all are just going to have to deal with it. Or even maybe you're not even watching the video.
And you're
maybe you're just listening. But, for shits and giggles, you can turn on the video and check us out. But listen, I'll focus on the conversation because I'm pretty keen to have this conversation with you.
I know. When you said you wanted to interview me for your podcast, I was like, what are we going to talk about? I'm not going to lie. I got a little bit nervous because many of your guests have been all of you guests have been absolutely extraordinary and such different journeys of their awakening, but also so many different professions and walks in life. So I was like, what can I contribute? And I just started questioning like why you wanted to, but I also felt so honored. So that's where I am right now.
Okay, no problem. Well, you're in the right place because I actually haven't had anyone with your background on the show. And you can just maybe introduce yourself a little bit to let us in on what is that background.
Yeah, what is that background? Well, as mentioned, my name is Lara. I live in Melbourne, and I am an actress and now a filmmaker as well. So I started off in ballet and got injured and found another form of storytelling through acting, and I've really enjoyed that for the last probably 16 years, and for the last year and a half been dabbling in directing and writing and filmmaking.
That is just incredible. Because I've kind of witnessed the journey, and to me, it's just pure. I mean, that's why I wanted to interview you because it's just incredible, and the way that you receive your inspiration has also been interesting to me because it's almost like you said, it's almost like you're downloading the stuff from ether and then putting it out there. And I guess that's in a way how creativity comes to people, but I don't know, you're the one that I could interview about it.
Yeah. No, Well, as I said, a real honor. Because I have done this for so long now, it's just my process and I don't question it or don't, and so it's nice to have an outside point of view about my process as well. But yeah, so I've been doing Transcendental Meditation since probably a very similar time, actually, since 2008.
Oh God. Oh my God.
Which is insane to think about. And my parents lovingly paid for the course for me and my partner, and I've been doing it ever since. And since that, I think that's when I started tapping into that source and that quiet space of creativity.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible. I love how you link it back to TM or a form of meditation, right? You're not everybody practices transcendental meditation, but ultimately the first guest that I had on the show, who is a psychologist, also, I think, said she's been practicing yoga for 18 years. She's a yoga teacher now, but that's her access to that liminal space, whatever that space is, that is hard to describe with words, right? And different people tap into there in different ways.
What's the way that you tap into it?
I'm clear cognizant. That's one of my things. I just know shit. I just know shit. I'm just okay, remember how when I got interviewed for Anavasi, where the fuck did that come from?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just like, ugh.
Yeah. Oh my God, it was incredible.
It's literally like that.
You just tap in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like things that come through me as long as like I know when it's not quote unquote the little voice in my head
Uh-huh,
because
uh-huh.
that one is pretty rampant. It says some weird shit,
Yeah.
mostly mostly not very
Don't
empowering.
worry, we all have
So
that.
or multiple little voice, whatever.
Yeah.
I know when it's not that one,
Little
like
monkey on your
and
back,
it's
kind
just
of, yeah.
not
Yeah,
that
it's
it's not like
more,
that.
yeah, this clear bell of a voice. Yeah, where
Yeah.
you know. Yeah.
Yeah, and rather like I don't hear the voice, it's more like a knowing. It's literally the
Yes.
definition of claircognizance. Like I know what to say now and now and now, and who's talking, we don't know, but here we are. Like
Yeah.
it's like
I think I want to do in the future, I'd love to practice more in terms of finding that voice and being able to not just have it just drop in here and there, because sometimes I feel like I know things before they're going to happen, or I will know that text message, I know who the text messages are always from before, like, as you know, or I'll say the name will drop in my head and they'll contact me. And so I feel like I'd love to work that muscle a little bit more in the future,
mm,
and I just need to find the right teacher.
mm. Well, it's amazing, right? Because I was just talking about this on one of the episodes with one of my collaborators, Stacia, who I've had here as a guest, and she's like a gifted energy worker,
Yeah.
right? And we started talking about this thing about how practicing those gifts ultimately leads to, well, it's like anything. It's
Mm.
like practicing a sport, which then links back to neuroplasticity.
Yes.
The more you practice a thing, the more you strengthen that neural pathway,
Yeah.
and therefore the more it's accessible to your brain and becomes the go-to thing for
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
So ultimately, it is about practice. But yeah, having like a quote unquote coach is
Yeah.
good because then they can, well, ultimately show you the way,
Yeah.
but then you end up being the one doing it because you're the
Yeah.
one training yourself and
Yeah.
fortifying those neural pathways. And I think a lot of where the world is going right now with a lot of
Mm.
people, I mean, this is part of the podcast, right? Like is the awakening
Yeah.
process. A lot of us are like tapping into these gifts, whether it's claircognizance or clairvoyance, or whether you're receiving messages and like through your dream realm or dream space. These kind of psychic gifts, intuitive
Yes.
gifts. Um, we are ultimately moved. Like I've interviewed a lot of, people that are psychics and have really, really tapped into those
Yeah.
gifts on this podcast, like from people who are, practicing psychology to very, very known
Mm.
mediums, like world
Yeah.
renowned.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's definitely where the world is going. So I think it's great. I mean, I'm excited that it's going that way because I'm into it.
No, I know. And I think when we first met as well, we weren't necessarily into that. When we first met, I mean, we were very young. But it's so interesting that our paths have aligned throughout the years as well. I get the opportunity to do Val's tarot cards sometimes, and that is such a privilege. I've been doing that since I've been doing Transcendental Meditation, and their Osho tarot.
So
So
good.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, tell me about that. I was gonna bring that up later, but you
Mm.
brought it now, so
Sorry.
it's perfect. No, it's good. It's hey,
Yeah, yeah.
you're clairvoyant. Evidently, I was just gonna say it, and then you said it. So what you say is true. You do predict shit. But ultimately, I was gonna ask you this, right? So with the tarot,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty sure like we probably would have done this in a past life together. You were like
Yeah.
my tarot lady or something.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Or beyond that. I don't know, maybe we were sisters, who knows.
Yeah, exactly.
But
We could have been all of that.
exactly. Hey, we could be all that right now
Yeah,
in
exactly.
parallel realities, right?
Exactly.
But where, like, how did that? Was there a synchronicity? Was that with that? Like, did you just went shopping and got this deck, and then all of a sudden you're like a wizard tarot? What
I
happened?
think it's interesting because I was at an acting class, and we were sitting. It was the first class that we were doing, and first classes are always nervous. You're always nervous because you don't know what you're about to go into. You're meeting new people, and we had to do a being exercise. And that was the start of it. And what happened was I sat, at the time, I didn't know who she was, and they sat us opposite each other in front of the class, and everyone else had been doing it. And what you had to do is just stare at the person for 10 minutes.
Wow, it's a long.
Yeah, it's a long time.
I've done that for 2 minutes,
Yeah.
and that seemed like an eternity. So I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, for 10 minutes. And what happened was we were staring at each other, and the teacher was like, if you feel an impulse to say anything, go for it. Like, it could just be like blue eyes, and you're just saying what you're seeing, but, and what happened was we started to energy vibrate, me and this woman. And suddenly, this is so strange.
That's fine.
It was,
Try me.
yeah. Her face started to transform and she started to become something else. It was like trippy.
Yeah.
And the same experience, we became one and I started to morph. And if there was a sound, it would have been, ooh, 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 ooh. And
Wow.
I was like, you have a giant tongue and it's hitting the floor or something like that. Do you know what I mean? And everyone's just like, the rest of well, I assume that's how they were because we were so in it. It was like her face was melting away, her ears were, and it was the most intense thing. And, I started crying at one point. She started crying and then it ended. And then after the class, we went and had a cup of tea out the back and she goes, I just have to ask you, I've got an impulse to ask you, do you do transcendental meditation by any chance? Yeah. I'm still getting shivers now.
Oh my
And
God.
I was like, yes. And she's like, oh my God, I can tell. She was like, we both just went into meditation with our eyes closed and just became one. It was so crazy. And ever since then, she became my friend. And one day in my mailbox, I got the cards from her. For the Osho cards, and they're the cards I still have.
Is this Irish lady?
Yeah.
Oh my! I knew you were talking
Yeah.
about her all of a
Yeah.
sudden because, like, she became your friend all of
Yeah.
a sudden, and now that it all makes sense.
Yeah.
See, now I'm using my claircognizance.
I know.
Baby steps.
It was incredible. And so ever since then, I've been doing them, and it was just meant to be. But they do say with tarot cards, you have to receive them as a gift. You can't go buy them yourself. Yeah.
I didn't even know this.
Yeah.
This is amazing.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Mm.
But I love it, like the trust that you had in the whole process, because I don't know, like
Yeah.
not many people, some people wouldn't have followed that cookie trail
Yeah.
or that path.
Yeah.
But I'm like, oh, thanks, see you later, never even open the thing.
Yeah, it's a very open experience. And I think that, you know what, it really changed my way of acting as well from that moment with her was because, we did Meisner of being and acting and reacting, but it was like I was able to tap into the energy of my scene partner more easily. Yeah.
That is amazing. I've learned something about you that I didn't know, which is so cool. Okay, that answers and obviously with time, if you've been practicing that same deck for so long, like you just get better and better and better. And like every reading I've had has been very fucking accurate.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh.
I've had some really interesting because I've been trying to learn how to do tarot for others when they're not with me in the space. And so, but I need to really work on that muscle because just recently I was doing one and I was like, this makes no sense. This means nothing for this other person. I don't understand this. And what happened was I did it again and I did it 3 times and all the cards turned up the same again and again. I was like, what am I not understanding, universe? Like what? This does not align for this person. This makes no sense. And I knew it in my gut. And then I remember meditating the next morning and I woke up, like I came out of it and I was like, oh my God, they're my cards.
So
and then
it's like your own energy. Hey, but this is such a great, and thanks for being like so vulnerable and sharing the experience. Like this is the kind of shit you come up, like if you're an athlete, practice. If you're like learning a new language, like this is the kind of stuff that you'll be up against.
Yeah.
Even if you've been learning that for 20 years.
Exactly. And it was because my energy was all over it. And it was actually, it was my response to what my friend was going through.
Yeah. Oh, that's so good though. See, I love that you're open about it because I find a lot of energy workers, listen. Do do not, do not get offended. I don't give a shit if you're offended by this. It's fine. I'll just say it how I say it. But as a human being, we tend to process information, some of it through our brain and the senses and all that. And it's always an interpretation. It's never pure.
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah.
It's never pure. Like, only people that have done like extensive work on themselves don't taint that information from God source universe, let's say, with their own flavor and their own interpretation, which is like an example of what you just shared, right? But it's so great to be cognizant of it because, I've had people, I'm pretty sure, like pull cards on me and then call me and be like, "Ooh, you need to shut the fuck up." Like, seriously? You know what? Like, just shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Like, do not firstly dabble in my energy field with your
If I didn't ask as well, like if you didn't ask for it, don't give me some advice that I never asked for, and that could definitely not be true.
Right, but also like within the flavor of your own woundedness. And I do find, and this is kind of like a cautionary message, I guess, to people. It's like really, and I've said this before and I'll say it again, but really, really like pay attention to who you're working with. Like, are they grounded enough?
Oh, I think we're back. Yeah.
Hey.
All right. So go through that again.
Okay. No, I think I recorded, but basically it's important who you're working with, even if you're working with yourself, just not to taint the messages with your own flavor of whatever the fuck it is that you're going to, which is do the work ultimately.
I don't know if you're happy to bring this up. We can be elusive with the story, but I still recall the story of you driving all the way out to, get a psychic reading.
Oh my God. Oh my gosh. I've had all sorts of experiences and this was one of them.
But I still remember the phone call from you just going, what did I just walk into?
It's like, what the fuck was that? What the fuck was that?
But, and that you learn a lot from that experience.
Absolutely. Oh my goodness. Absolutely. I have like vivid memories from that experience.
But that's a you don't know until you know kind of situation as well.
Lived experience.
Yes.
So I'm drawing on the last episode, which I did solo. It's about the lived experience that we have, which is so vastly distinct from any sort of theory, even psychic messages and predictions. Like, you go get a reading or you do your own cards and you have like the knowledge of, hey, what's to come, but then how it manifests itself and how you experience it is so vastly distinct. Like the lived experience of it. Yeah, it could have happened. Like what you foretold may have happened, but the way that it unveiled or unfolded is just like, whoa.
Yeah, no.
So different.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's that added layer of lived experience too.
Yeah.
But let's go way back for a sec. So before all of that, before you trained as an actress and all that, like, just tell me a little bit about your life, because I know that wasn't your first career choice.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. When you said you wanted me on your podcast, I was also considering, okay, what do I want to bring up? What do I want to discuss? And which I haven't. I've done a few podcasts in terms of, looking at the acting process and my life as well. But yeah, no, I had a great childhood, which is very lucky. I feel very privileged because of that. I grew up in Darwin, and loved ballet, loved dancing, always had a strong connection with dance and with no embarrassment. I used to get up. Didn't matter, like up in front of the class, dance, do a Stedfords out in the asphalt at school. I was really encouraged just to be myself. And I really treasure that. I really feel thankful to my parents that they really instilled that into me, that I was able to, if I wanted to express myself, I could. And it didn't matter if I was, if someone was like, oh, I can't believe she's dancing in a tutu at school. I didn't care.
That's so great. That's awesome.
Yeah. So dance was my way of expressing myself. And if you are watching this podcast now and you're not listening to it, you can probably see that I talk a lot with my hands. Um, and it's just the way that I do express myself. So, yeah, so dance was a massive, aspect of my life. And then we eventually moved to Bairnsdale in Victoria, halfway through grade 6, and it still was a massive part of who I was. And, there's this part of me, if I go back and look at my grade 6 photo, this class photo, the reason I stand out in the photo, and this is hilarious, is because I decided to wear the winter uniform in summer. And I refused to take my winter uniform off. I mean, I come from Darwin,
Yeah.
and it was, now there's summer, but I was like, I'm still cold. And so everyone's forced to wear their summer uniform, but I decided I was not. And like, this is a new school where I was going to get bullied, but I didn't care because I was cold. But I also didn't care about what people thought of me. My poor mom, though, she got, pulled aside by even the lollipop lady and said, "Hey, do you need any money? Is that why your
Oh
daughter
my
is?" They thought, and
gosh.
my poor mom.
No, they thought she was, yeah, But that's like the level of courage that you had at that point. You just
Yeah,
not a single
I
thought.
just
Yeah.
knew who I was and was happy to be myself. And I feel bad now knowing that it did, affect my mum a little bit. That's where I'm like,
Well, what
I'm a
can you
bit
do?
sad about that. But she's was like, no, my daughter's just decided she wants to wear the winter, and it was a cute little winter outfit. The summer wasn't as great. But yeah, it's a reason that just shows my conviction as well. And I've always had that. I mean, it has sometimes in my life when I was younger, in my 20s maybe, but we all go through that where you do lose that sense of who you are, and eventually you come back to it. I've noticed that in my life, like everything that I was really interested in high school, I lost that in my 20s. And I mean, you met me when we were in our when we were babies. Um, and I really had this lost kind of, what am I going to do with my life? Who am I? And then interestingly, it's all come back to the core that it's like I really knew who I was in high school.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So cool. It's so magical. And yeah, I'm just really glad, great, grad. I'm grad.
I'm
Well,
glad too.
yeah, yeah. That yeah, that's the process you went to and like refound yourself, the whole alchemist journey or whatever,
Yeah.
And we're constantly doing that, I guess, but in these waves of awakening
Mm.
processes, and yeah, I guess that's the beauty of the journey.
Yeah. I feel like also like going on my family and my upbringing and things like that, I think even though my family does have a background in military and things like that, they've always been very open with spirituality and all of that as well. So even my grandpa, who was in the Navy, he's always throughout his life seen ghosts. And so he's always, had that ability, and so has the rest of that side of the family as well. So I think that's like that push and pull of yin and yang and stuff like that of serving, serving in the military and things like that, but also having that openness to being able to see. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Well,
think it's really interesting.
oh, I think the two
Yeah,
go hand in hand. I mean, a
yeah,
lot of the guests that I've had on the podcast, not but a handful, have a military background and
mm,
are we talk about, I mean, look, here we are in this 3D reality with
mm,
all the shit going on, and then yet we know that this is not all that there is.
yeah. Yeah, no, exactly. No, so yeah, that's my background as well. So yeah, going back to dancing, I eventually in year 11, at the end of year 11, moved to Melbourne, left my family and did full-time dance, and unfortunately became injured. So that was a massive turning point in my life, because that was the be end and end all. That's who
Mm.
I wanted to be. I wanted to be a dancer. How else would I express myself? So yeah, so eventually I did, skipping a fair bit of chunk in my life, but eventually I did get into acting, which
Yeah.
has transformed my life again.
I know. And now
Yeah.
directing. So tell me about now, okay, acting. Obviously, we're both part of this film, and I interviewed Christopher, the director, for this film called Anavasi. I don't remember what episode that was.
No, I'm
Um,
excited to, yeah.
yeah, but that's super cool, and that was like a synchronicity in and of itself. I love how like the organic nature of how that's coming together. But tell me about like these recent directing things. Like I've just been seeing you all over my social media, like as this
Sorry.
like fucking superstar. So I'm like, yeah, I need to interview her
Yeah.
about that too.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
think I feel like somehow in my so many years on this planet, I have lived so many lives. Do you know what I mean? Like I
yeah.
sometimes I think back at everything that I have conquered, achieved, gone through, and I'm like, how have I done all that?
You must have a really strong eighth house in astrology. So
Yeah.
I'm just like, we should look at your
Yeah.
chart, really. But yeah, I keep going.
So this was another moment where I was like, oh, I'm an actor. This is all I want to do, once again. And then I came onto set of a film, and I came away from it, driving away thinking, I don't feel fulfilled. What's wrong with me? Is this an ego moment? Am I upset that I wasn't the lead role? Like I really started questioning
Yeah.
everything. I'm like, why am I feeling this way? Which I hadn't felt like that in a while or at all. And so I decided I'm going to go to sleep, and I'll sleep on it because sleep, really helps reset me. And, you know, I don't want to overthink things. And so I went to bed, and I woke up the next morning, and I knew immediately what I needed to do. And it was like I had downloaded, as you said, downloaded an entire film into my head. I hadn't dreamt it. It wasn't my dream. It was just there
There.
in my head. And the voice was saying, you need to make your own film. You need to direct. You need to act in it. You need to write it. And then you will feel fulfilled, and this is your next journey. And so I immediately went onto um a website and bought myself a wig because I knew I had to look like the actor that I was going to cast as my brother. I then purchased the wig. It said it was going to be a week and a half. I then rang the actor, who was also primarily a filmmaker. And I said, I would like to make this film with you. I'd love for you to act in my film. I'd love to direct you. And he goes, have you written it? I was like, no, not yet, but this is the concept. This is what I want. And he's like, write it, Lara, and then send it to me. But yeah, I'm in.
Wow.
And so, which I knew he would, and we worked so well together. And yeah, and so I wrote it in an hour. I sent it to him, and he's like, I love this. Let's do it. And so I was like, all right, we're shooting in a week and a half. He's like, great, I'll get a skeleton crew together. We had two other people involved, Alex Jones on sound, and also Scott Pope doing as the DP. And we shot it in 6 hours on basically the side of the road.
Oh my
Um,
gosh. Talk about like speed and
yeah.
velocity.
But
Yeah.
I just remember being at work, and people, colleagues were going, "Oh, what are you up to at the moment, Lara?" And I was like, I'm filming. I'm going to be filming." And they're like, "What do you mean? Acting?" I'm like, "Oh no, I'm directing. I'm writing it." And they were just like, "What do you mean?" I go, "Honestly, I'm a woman possessed. I just never I just never stopped." And it was like, I've only had this a few times in my life, but it was like this strong energy source coming from
Wow.
my solar plexus and my stomach, and it was just drawing me forward, and I couldn't stop
That's
until yeah.
incredible. I had this, sorry to interrupt, but
Yeah.
it's like I interviewed this Chinese medicine doctor, amongst other things, Dr. Tarshini, I think, I don't know what episode 70, but she's all about the womb space. and how your creativity comes from that space.
That's what it felt like.
Dude, this
Yeah,
is
that's crazy.
amazing. That's a perfect example
Yeah.
of it. I love that. It
Yeah.
literally,
Uh,
so good.
it was incredible. Uh, we edited the film in a day,
Yeah.
Parry and I, and then we also made the poster on the same day, and then we went out to a film night for Channel 31 that night. We were just like, and I kind of love that.
But you know what? This is also like, ah, the whole, it defies the construct of time as
Yeah.
we know it.
Yes.
Like, this is another one of those examples
Yeah.
of what I always say in every episode. It's pretty much time doesn't exist. It's
Yeah.
not linear, but this is like a perfect example of,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
And like Parry and I have such a great communication together as well. He's actually a part of Anabasi as well.
Oh,
So
good.
it's like a
It's
it's so
it's a
crazy.
whole rounder.
And so we just really tap in, we really listen, we really communicate together. And if one of us has advice for the other, we don't get offended. We don't, we just go in the flow state together. And yeah, it's just I feel very fortunate that I have someone in my life that I can create with.
Mm.
Yeah.
So good. All these kind of like soul tribe people that
Yeah.
we meet along the way. So important.
I just wanted to say as well, about this film, it started, I wanted to put it into film festivals
Yes.
just to learn what that process was, putting it into
Yes.
Film Freeway, uploading, creating an IMDb page. I really wanted a sense of what does everyone do that I don't get to see as an actor. And so I learn all those little hats that, and other roles that people play to make a film. And then it just started getting momentum. And I was like, but I don't actually understand what this film is. I was like, this film came from here, but I don't actually know what it is so it started winning awards. It started getting selected across overseas, and I started freaking out that I'd made something that I don't know what it is, and it was actually its own entity. It was its own
Creation.
baby,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and
It birthed itself from
yeah,
you.
it's birthed itself,
Yeah.
and then it was crawling, and then it was walking, and then it was like, "Hey, Mom, do you want to come with me?" And I was like, "Okay, where are we going?" "Oh, we're going to be up on stage at a film festival." And then suddenly I'm at a film festival with a microphone talking about this film, and I'm like, "How did I get here?" And so it was just this momentum that just kept going.
So amazing. Okay, so tell us what the name of
Oh, name of the film is Ensconced.
Ensconce.
And yeah, it
And
wasn't until it got into one of the final film festivals that's just been at ACME, the Multicultural Mental Health Film Festival, and it wasn't until then that it all made sense to me. And
yeah.
yeah,
Wow. Do you want
so.
to talk about that or
Oh no,
it's
I'll just it's absolutely
yeah.
fine. But I realized that the role that I had given to Parry was actually a reflection of who I used to be a few years back. So it was kind of a cathartic film that I didn't realize was cathartic. But I mean, everything comes from the source and comes from, obviously it's going to come from something I had experienced, but I hadn't I hadn't realized the correlation that
Mm.
it was a reflection on my past trauma
Mm.
until I was up there with a microphone and going, oh,
Wow. Listen, this earth is exactly to experience those kinds of experience. We're all traumatized and,
yeah,
fucking going through it over and over again and then learning from that. I mean, that's one of the reasons why we choose this incarnation. That's what I believe anyway.
yeah,
And when we can create something magic out of it, that makes a big difference and wins awards and
yeah,
allows us to have this whole new, expression for ourselves. That's also very healing. I think
yeah.
that's just a bonus.
I
It's a bit
know,
of a
I know,
bonus.
I know.
It's so good. And makes a difference to a lot of other people because now you don't know the ripple effect.
Yeah,
You
I
just
think I
don't
think
know.
that I think that
Yeah.
that was really interesting. I had a woman come up to me in a wheelchair at one of the film festivals, and it had really moved her because she had lost her brother in a car accident,
Mm.
and I hadn't even thought of what the impact could be on different aspects of life and what other people are going through until this moment. And I was really taken aback and really moved.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I've got no more questions. I'm just like in awe and really, really curious. But I'm always like very futuristic. I'm like curious as to what next.
Yeah.
That's just part of, who I am. But that's really cool. Or unless you want to tell us, like tell us what now, what next, what's coming up,
Oh,
or
well, funny timing. I just saw Parry yesterday, and I think we're getting to the end of 2025, and I don't know if anyone else is feeling this way. We're just a little bit depleted, a little bit exhausted, and that's okay. That's okay. And 2025 for me hasn't been the worst year, but it's been bumpy, especially towards the last half of the year. And I feel, and that's what I like about us, is that, we know when we are tired and we know when we do need to replenish. And so I'm at that point, and so is Parry, funnily enough. And so we're just like, okay, well, what is our aspirations? What do we want to do next year? And I love that we are saying the word we, because I think collaboration is key in terms of creating. And I really love it. Just like the film with Christopher Kay, with Anavasi, and being a part of that and the collaboration process of that piece has just been incredible. So next year I've got a short film up my sleeve, which I'm umming and ahhing whether I want to direct. I have written it. I do want to be in it, but I don't know if I want the other hat of directing it. It was exhausting, having so many hats. But I want to do that. And Parry is on the mission to make a feature film as well. So I think we've got a lot of ambition. I think we just need to fill our cup first.
yes, absolutely. Listen, you're in the right there. I do this collaborative podcast called Frequency and Figures with the energy worker that I was talking about, Stacia.
Yes.
And yeah, we kind of predicted that, yeah, right now the only thing to do is to rest.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
There's nothing else to do. As
Yeah.
much as, and when if you do that, like it's you will be forced to rest. Like I was a couple weeks ago, like I was just saying. I was like,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
No.
yeah, yeah.
I completely, and Anavasi was an incredible experience to be a part of. I think they shot for 5 weeks. I had 4 days on set, I think. And there was one day, and I'll just touch upon this really quickly in terms of my acting, and because we were both part of this incredible film. But I think I'd done a lot of backstory for my character, and my character was nonverbal because she just had no dialogue, and so it was more about emoting her circumstances and her situation and her thoughts. And I took on that because it was such an incredible challenge. So I had to write all the backstory so that I knew every thought that the character would have in those scenes, or I would have just been, I don't know, just moving my face and emoting. But it was really interesting. The house that they chose, I don't know if I wasn't possessed, but I really feel like the house really helped my character. And I don't know if something had happened in that house, but honestly, I had some out of body experiences where I became the character and I was no longer myself.
Wow,
So
that's amazing.
that's just my experience on this film. Being a part of your interview was such a privilege as well. It's like you were just downloading every question. I was like,
I can't wait to watch it because I do not remember.
yeah, see,
Right, I
that's
don't
what
know what you
I
said.
mean.
Can't wait to watch it.
Yeah, but I was like, she's my friend. I was so proud, and so I was just like, oh my god, my friend is so smart. Like, I was like, wow.
I've never seen this side of her before.
Well, I have, but it was like hours long of it, and I was just like,
the consistency.
yeah. So I'm really excited for this film to come out and see the waves that it does create, and the ripple effect as well. And I'm just so proud of Christopher and what he's achieved. And I can't wait to watch that podcast interview with him as well, and learn more about his experience in creating that film from scratch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. I don't remember what podcast episode that was.
Yeah.
You'll have to troll through it.
Yeah.
If you haven't watched it either, just troll through the podcast with Christopher K and Avasi. You'll find it. It's incredible. Well, when you do go to places, like certain places on this earth do activate us
Yes.
because let's say you're someone, I don't know, let's say you've incarnated, reincarnated. This may be your first incarnation. We don't know, but most likely this ain't your first rodeo,
Yeah.
right? But every time we're incarnated on this same planet, like the earth is still her or she, guy, whatever you want to call it. Like it's still the same place.
Yeah.
So sometimes you go to places that you would have had a past incarnation in, and it's like you retrieve a piece of your soul.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm kind of saying it that way, but
No,
paraphrase your experience.
completely, because I'd done so much work on the character for months, so that it was removed from me, because I had had a similar experience to the character, and I was like, well, I don't want to tap into my own emotions and unlock and open up, stuff that I've worked on, that has healed. So I worked really hard on creating a character that was, unique and further removed from me. So to see it in action, I was like, this is beyond what I had worked on. And I really do believe that's so true. Yeah. Maybe I've been to that house before, or that land, that the house used to, it now lives on.
Yes. And now that's my alarm. That's good. That's good. Well, look, we'll wrap it up here.
Yeah.
We've touched upon so many things, and like neuroscientific things like neuroplasticity, and obviously our environment, like, you working collaboration with all these people. That's epigenetics for you. If you don't know it, reach out. I'll tell you all about epigenetics and neuroplasticity. But I just want to thank you for having this conversation, being my first in-person guest.
My God.
And hopefully part 1 of this comes through. If it doesn't, I'm just going to upload this part. This was just as valuable, and I'll fill you in on the blanks at some other time. But Lara, thank you so much.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much as well. And, just happy holidays, happy rest,
Exactly.
happy filling of cup, happy family. I'm excited for 2026 and everything that it brings to you as well.
Thank you.
And thank you so much. Yay. What an honor.
Thanks so much, everybody. Thanks for listening. And don't forget to share with someone. You never know whose awakening you're contributing to.